Vino TV. We're spending some more time here with Eric Miller, owner and lead winemaker at Chaddsford Winery. Eric, the education that I got from the side-by-side of the Chambersons just blew me away, so thank you for spending some more time with us. The couple of videos we already had out and the reviews we did for the Du Rossi and the Rubino are blended Italian-style wines, and we have the third that you do here called the Merican. Where did you come up with a name like Merican?
Well, you know, my background is my father's a Francophile, and he liked a lot of French wines, and so he introduced me to Bordeaux. This is a Bordeaux type blend.
Okay.
But it's American. And I'm American.
Right.
And so I don't want people telling me I make this great French wine. And so I just took American and I dropped the A and hoped that that would sort of lead into it and people would sympathize with the wine.
That's pretty cool. I noticed in the packaging of this particular wine, it's a big, really thick, heavy bottle.
Yeah,
you got the silk screen printing right on there. Obviously, it must be a pretty penny. You must be pretty proud of this particular. It's slightly different than having your other reserves with the paper logos and things like that.
Well, this was the first one that I did. I started working with French grapes first when I moved to this region. So it's the one I have the most experience with, and it's the one I have the most of my life invested in. And so I felt like this is the one that I was ready to do this with.
Interesting. So are you most proud of this one?
No, anything that goes with food, I'm proud of.
Gotcha.
But I'm really happy with it. I only do it in some years, you know. There are
Correct.
many years in this area that are just not perfect years. '05 was a great vintage. We bottled it.
Awesome, awesome. So a Bordeaux
Cheers.
style? Cheers, thank you. A Bordeaux style. What type of grapes do you have in here?
It's dominated by Cabernet Sauvignon. But not every year will it be dominated by Cabernet Sauvignon. But in '05 it is. And then it's got some Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Petit Verdot.
Okay.
So it's a classic left bank, if you've been studying your Bordeaux's left bank blend. And I think you'll find that the Cabernet comes up. It's got that kind of chocolatey nose in there. It's got some nice features.
Nice.
Still young, still got a little bit of tannin to it, but it allowed you, to me, if you didn't get it in the nose, and I didn't get that much chocolate when I smelled it, but in the mouth, you get that kind of milk chocolate that comes up.
Yep, it's definitely lighter. It doesn't nothing like we tried previously in the other videos. I think I guess the more blended grapes that are actually in there is kind of lightening it up, and definitely not as deep, definitely not as dark like the chocolate flavor you say.
And none of them are the grape varieties that are the big fruity varieties.
Exactly.
Like Chamberson. These are more on the earthy side with a little bit of cherry, a little bit of currants coming through.
The Cab Franc and the Petit Verdot, typically a blended type thing. People kind of add that a little bit there. Is there, in this particular one, the 2005, do you remember how much Cabernet is actually in there?
I don't have to remember. I can tell you.
Right on the back.
60% Cabernet Sauvignon, 20% Merlot, 15% Cabernet Franc, 5% Petit Verdot.
Perfect. I think blended wines is really, I think they're underappreciated. I think a lot of people are looking for a straight up one particular grape shot wine, and I think that there's something to be said, especially for the younger generation that are really getting into wine now, that the blended wines are actually a really great exposure to wine tasting as a whole. The different flavors that you're getting, the ability for yourself to mix the different things in and out of there. I mean, every single vintage you can kind of tweak it ever so slightly if you want to go a little bit away from the jamminess and go more towards smoky, or if you wanted to go a little bit more fruit forward, and maybe next time a little less fruit forward, you're able to do so, you know, mechanically.
It's kind of a marketing thing. If the first thing you learn is the grape variety, and so you memorize Cabernet Sauvignon or something like that, and then you go on to learning about a region and how it affects Cabernet, and then you learn to have confidence in the winemaker, and you say, well, wait a minute, it doesn't really matter what grape he's using. I know his style, I have confidence in his ability to make the wine, but that takes a lot of years of drinking and a lot of gallons of wine, and
That's for
what
sure.
could be better?
That's for sure. I totally agree. Speaking of gallons of wine, do you know how much you produced of this?
Not many. We did about about 300 cases, so what, about 600 gallons.
Okay.
It's always a very small lot.
Is it difficult to produce a wine with that many, I guess, added things in there, ingredients, that much blend?
Well, I not only work in the cellar, I work in the vineyard. In fact, I spend as much time in the vineyard as I do in the cellar, because I want to select for this. I go to this portion of the vineyard that has what I want.
Right.
And then I ferment them all separately, so I have all these grape varieties or separate lots. And then I taste each lot that I've made of each grape variety and taste it for its character. Then we begin percentage blending, and it takes several months.
Yeah, I would think so. But so fascinating and so much fun. You must just really enjoy the whole thing. Obviously, it's your life's work, but I mean, every day just must be a great day for you.
Every day that I can taste wine, to tell you the truth, my reward at the end of the day is dinner. I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking about what wine I want to open, and I'm thinking about what food I'm going to make. And for this, I would be thinking about grilling a steak, I'd be thinking about something with a red wine sauce. It's got enough stuffing to go with some pretty serious food.
I totally am with you on that 110%. I think a nice prime rib with a little bit of red wine drizzle there, I think would do us real well.
Do you notice that the fruit is coming up now? Now
Yes.
that the wine has been opened,
Yeah.
oxygen is getting into it. More of the smells are becoming available.
Yeah, it's actually, not that it wasn't approachable the first time around, but it's a lot more soft now.
Yeah.
And it is clearly approachable. This is a really fantastic wine. Available here at the tasting room in La Hasca.
Yep.
At Peddler's Village, down at the vineyard in Chaddsford as well, right?
Oh, yes.
And online at chaddsford.com. This is awesome. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And thanks for opening up a big banger for us. That's just great that we got to spend some time with you and opening up one of your pride and joys.
Well, most people don't think about Pennsylvania as making really significant wines, and I am really flattered and thrilled that you're that interested, so thank you.
No, we greatly appreciate it. This is our third blended wine. We did the Durossi, we did the Rubino, and we were blown away by both of those. This is amazing, and then the side-by-side with the Chamberlain. This is a great opportunity to get Pennsylvania the proper exposure it deserves, and you're doing a fantastic job, so thank you so much.
Thanks.
Cheers.